Okay, Ernest, here we go. This movement is pretty similar to yours, okay? You got your count wheels, the musical train count wheel, slice of pie missing. And you got a count wheel for your cuckoo train, okay? For the cuckoo calls. On your movement, the power gets transferred from the motion works here with the hour and minute hand, and it activates the cuckoo train, okay? This locking lever. Remember this locking lever we talked about? It falls into the slice of pie. Okay, what happens is the cuckoo train gets activated like so, okay? And then it falls into that cam and slides and locks the train. Now, from this cuckoo train in the middle of the movement, okay, there's a lever that goes in between the plates and it transfers over to the musical train. That's what controls the musical train, the activation of the musical train. So once the cuckoo train gets done cycling and finished with that lever down inside that slot, you see, it then allows the musical train to start to turn and activate the musical movement. The lever I'm speaking of, it's just so hard to do. It's in the middle of the movement. You see that one? Right there. It goes all the way across and hooks up to another lever, which is also connected to the musical train. So, the cuckoo train needs to finish cycling, completely locked up. It needs to finish cycling and locked up, and then it will release this train of gears on the musical side. So our problem is that lever that falls into the slice of pie there, it will not fall into that slot and lock the gear train. This lever, okay, if you follow it, it comes around to this arbor here, okay? Now remember I told you there's usually spring tension on this lever to help it drop into that slice of pie. On this particular movement, I don't think yours is the same, but you see that little spring wrapped around there? And then on this movement, it wraps around this post. So that gives you the spring tension, which assists in pulling that lever into the slot and into place and locking the gear train. So that's, and again, that same lever on the post in between the plates, you see all those wires? One of them travels all the way across. You see it down in there? And it hooks up with the cuckoo train. So the cuckoo train needs to finish cycling and locked with the lever inside between the cams there. Needs to be locked in order to let loose, let the musical train begin to turn. Like I said, our problem is this lever here will not fall into our slice of pie, locking the train. So something is preventing this lever from falling into the pie here and locking up the gear train. Ours is continually moving. So, something is preventing this thing from falling in, okay? Like I said, there's a spring on it that assists pulling it down, but, it really should fall on its own. It shouldn't really need a lot of help. So with that said, something is preventing that locking lever, okay, or this detent we'll call it, from falling in to the slice of pie here. Okay, now over here, this other lever, you see it coming out off of that same arbor, that locking lever. It comes down, and this is where Lady Mandolin comes out. This lever pushes on this one when the gear train activates and pushes her out. You see? It pushes her out the door. And then when the gear train locks up, like this is locked up now, it flips back under spring power here. See the spring? A return spring. It flips it back, and that's what closes the door. So I'm going to go ahead and activate this so you can see what's happening here, okay? We watch that one over there. I'm going to lift up on this lever. See how it pushes it? Now the gear train is free. It's flowing, right? And that count wheel, or that slice of pie there, it prevents that lever from falling down, which keeps the gear train free, and it continues to move. Until, of course, that slice of pie comes around, and then falls into that slice of pie, and the detent locks up the gear train. You'll see. We're coming up on it now. Soon, somewhere around the middle, and boom, it drops and it locks it up. At which point, you know, your musical movement feeds off this particular gear. It finishes the melody and it stops the musical movement too. Like I said, our problem is this lever here is not falling down into that slice of pie. We need to figure out why this lever, and there's a lot of shit on it. Why is this lever not dropping down? It should free fall into there, locking up the gear train. I hope all that makes sense. And Lady Mandolin, her lever on her post, you see how this lever is connected to the post? It needs to be on this side, on the left side of this lever here, because this lever, it goes up and it pushes her out. So why she's not coming out, I'm not sure. You see, I just pushed on that lever and it activated the train. So you're watching it, the count wheel's turning, and as soon as it reaches that opening, that lever should drop in, and then it locks up the gear train and completes its cycle. Our movement is staying open and free-flowing and continually turning. It shouldn't do that. It should fall into that slice of pie and lock up. Boom. See, it locked up. So we need to figure out why that lever is not dropping in the slice of pie. But with that said, when I told you before, this cuckoo train has got to finish cycling. It's got to be in between that slot, you know, with this locking lever again, should be beyond that slot, and you should not be able to turn, right? You should not be able to turn that cuckoo train. None of these gears should be moving. So like I said, there's a lever that gets transferred. You can see it in there. You see it right through there, right there. That lever goes from the cuckoo train, travels all the way across, and that's what activates your musical train. So when this is done cycling, when the cuckoo train is done cycling and locked up, it then allows this gear train to turn and complete its cycle around this count wheel. But our locking lever is not dropping in the slice of pie to lock up the lever. Why is this not dropping? It should drop right in and lock up the train. And again, Lady Mandolin, her lever should be, you know, on the inside of this other one. See how it pushes it? That lever out here is connected to our detent here. So it's all one piece. So it all acts at the same time. You know, this is the best I can explain it, and I'm really sorry you're having troubles. I mean, if we can't get it, you know, in a reasonable amount of time here, you're just going to have to send it back to me, unfortunately. And, you know, I know it's going to take, you know, 3 minutes to fix. So we'll start with this problem, and then we'll go to, you know, this musical movement, which is similar to this one, you know, and we'll probably have to take that out of your clock so we can see what the hell's going on here at Lady Mandolin, you know, her post. So I hope this helps. You know, obviously call me if you need help or whatever. And then we could deal with it, you know. Obviously this movement is, I mean, it needs complete rebuild. I mean, and, you know, Zither player and Lady Mandolin is missing, but that's it. So the cuckoo train's got to be locked up, and the cycle has to be complete in order for this gear train to turn. But like I said, our problem is this lever is not dropping into its slice of pie here. That's what locks it in. This outside diameter, you know, count wheel is what keeps the train open and flowing. It prevents this lever from dropping and locking up the gear train. But once it reaches this detent here, it's supposed to drop down and lock the train up. So I hope this helps. I'll send it right now.